Okay, ladies, so I know that it's like fall and winter and it's a little cold and that can make us a little lazy, but there are some things that we do not want to skimp on when it comes to our hygiene.
You in the past, I'm in the future. You mad?
Thank you all so much for clicking on this video. If you're new here, my name is Keela Trishan and I make videos on lifestyle, womanhood, and mental health. And if you're returning, thank you so much for coming back and thank you for your support. Okay, so with the weather getting a little bit colder, I felt it necessary to do a video on just feminine hygiene, really anybody hygiene, because I do feel like sometimes because the weather is colder and we're not showing as much skin, there's some things that we skimp on which we really don't need to. Things that could affect the quality of our skin, how our skin feels, and just the overall health. So I put together a list of a few things that I feel like I've heard in the past people say, oh, I don't really do, but you need to do. So if you are interested, go on ahead and stay tuned. Okay, so the first thing that you need to do, whether or not it's hot or cold outside, is to make sure that you are moisturizing after you take a bath or shower. So this is important, I feel, especially in like the colder months because your skin can get dry. I know me, for example, I have a drier skin texture on like my legs and arms. And so if I'm not moisturizing on a regular basis, I will get itchy, dry ass skin. And it's not cute, nor does it feel good. So really best practice is once you get out of a shower or bath, usually your pores are open and your skin is more susceptible to accepting any type of moisture that you give. I know a lot of people like to use heavier moisturizers in the colder months just because they tend to last longer and they work a little bit better, and that's something I like to do. Even if I'm not using like a heavier moisturizer, I'll probably add like baby oil or just some type of extra layer to my regular moisturizer just to make sure that it lasts throughout the day. So best practice is to moisturize your body after you get out of a bath or shower so you don't have to worry about issues with dry skin. Okay, so the next part of your body that I feel like sometimes people tend to skimp on in like the colder months is their feet. Now, obviously, when it's like hotter outside, you're wearing flip-flops and you're wearing sandals, like things that actually show your feet. So there's an incentive to make sure that your feet are moisturized, make sure that your toes are done and properly pedicured. But when it gets cold, sometimes people are like, oh, I'm not showing my feet. Like I'm gonna be wearing boots, I'm gonna be wearing tennis shoes all the time. I don't need to do anything with my feet. Don't be like that. I think that a lot of times in the winter, you'll have more issues with like just calluses on the bottom of your feet or super dry skin. And with the heels of your feet, you got to be really careful because when they crack, it can be really bad. And at least in my experience, it seems to be harder to get back on track than it is to stay ready, so you don't have to get ready. So what I like to do is I keep a pumice stone in my shower. I've said this in videos before, but I keep a pumice stone in there because right now I'm not going to the nail shop as much as I used to, just due to what's going on in the world. So I don't want that to affect my feet. So I keep a pumice stone in the shower. So when I am showering every couple of days, I like to, get down there and make sure that I'm getting off any like dead skin, any dry skin, any rough skin, calluses, and just make my feet easier to deal with and prettier to look at, because even though I'm not wearing sandals outside, I'm still showing my feet. I got a husband, I don't want to be out here looking crazy. So I like to make sure that I'm staying on top of that during the cold months, so then when it does get warmer and it's time to show my feet, I'm not out here like, ooh, my feet are looking crazy, and it's just a matter of maintenance and not just trying to climb this hill of getting my feet back into good condition. Okay, so the next thing that I feel like sometimes we skimp on in the colder months is sunscreen. So this is really big in the Black community. A lot of us still kind of have this mindset like we feel like we can't get skin cancer, or we feel like our skin is immune to sun damage, and unfortunately it's not. So you need to make sure that you are wearing sunscreen at least during the daylight hours, even when it is colder outside. A lot of times, and depending on where you live too, a lot of times there is still going to be some type of sun, and you just want to make sure that you are doing all you can to take care of your skin and make sure that you are protecting it for the long run. This is especially important to me now that I'm in my mid-30s. It wasn't honestly that big of a deal to me when I was in my 20s. Like, I didn't really take it as seriously, but now just being mid-30s and wanting to preserve, you know, the youth of my skin, I am taking that more into consideration, and I think that you all should too. So when you are planning out your skincare routine for the colder months, make sure that you are incorporating sunscreen just to make sure that you're giving your skin like a fighting chance against aging, fine lines, all that stuff. Okay, so the next thing that you do not want to neglect, this is really all year round, but I do find that in the colder months, it tends to be more of an issue, but you do not want to neglect your lips. Our lips are sensitive and the skin on your lips is thin, and so you want to make sure that you are doing what you can to moisturize so you don't get chapped lips and cracked lips. Like, it's unsightly, and honestly it's extremely uncomfortable. Like, you do not want to be walking around with lips that are cracking and bleeding. So my recommendation is every like few days, probably like exfoliate. I typically will just use whatever facial exfoliant I use on the rest of my face. I'll just use that on my lips, but they do have a lot of lip scrubs on the market that you can use if that's something that you prefer. You can even do something at home with, there's like a lot of sugar scrubs where you would mix like sugar, lemon, and honey. I know it's like a natural thing. You can use that to like exfoliate your body, and I would say your lips as well. But you want to make sure that you're keeping like a lip balm, whether that be like an actual specific lip balm. Like right now I'm using the Nivea products. Those tend to work for me because they're a little thicker. I also like to use just plain old Vaseline. Like after I get out of the shower, if I'm showering at night, I will put that on my lips and I tend to be just fine. But you want to make sure that you are taking care of your lips like you're taking care of the rest of your body, because again, you do have more of a chance in those colder months to have cracking and bleeding, and it's just it's uncomfortable, and it's one of those things like if you stay on top of it, then you don't have to worry about it. So make sure that you are paying special attention to those lips. Okay, so the last area of the body that I want to talk about not to neglect is your hair. Now, depending on what type of hair you have, if you have curly hair, if you have straight hair, your routine can differ. I'm going to talk about specifically curly hair because obviously that's what I have. I notice that in the summer months, I don't really deal with issues around moisture. I'm more or less trying to, like, I can use lighter products and they dry, and I can go outside with wet hair and I don't have to worry about getting sick. But in the winter months, I have to kind of change the way I handle my hair. So what I like to do is in the winter months, I typically, like, I wear my hair back a lot. I wear it out here and there, but usually my hair is in a bun or in a ponytail. And so even when it's up, I try to make sure that it is moisturized so I'm less prone to breakage. And I like to make sure that I'm paying special attention to the ends because that's the oldest part of your hair. So for me, what has worked is using maybe a heavier conditioner. In the warmer months, I am able to get away with more watery conditioners, like the spray leave-in conditioners. I can use those and like maybe a light oil and my hair is fine. But in the colder months, I tend to have to use a heavier, maybe like a creamier conditioner, something that is going to last a little bit longer, and I'll use a heavier oil or I'll just use more oil. So yeah, you may have to change your hair routine depending on the texture, the porosity of your hair. That's like a whole other story, and I'm not a natural hair guru. I just know it works for me. But definitely make sure that you are paying attention to the health and moisturization of your hair during the colder months. All right, you guys, so that is all I have for today as far as fall and winter like hygiene not to skimp on. If you have anything else that you would recommend, please go on ahead and put that in the comments below. I would love to see if there are any different ideas out there, different topics. I want to make sure I'm staying on top of my winter hygiene. If you like videos like this and if you like this type of content, please make sure to go on ahead and give me a big fat thumbs up. It really helps with the YouTube algorithm. I'm trying to grow and I'm trying to get this information out to anybody that wants to hear it. If you made it this far and you have not subscribed, please go on ahead and click that subscribe button below and be sure to turn on your notification bell so you don't miss any of my future uploads. With that being said, you guys have an amazing day and I'll see you next time. Bye.
You in the past, I'm in the future. You mad that they don't salute you. I need a bag, size is super.